Okay, while I wait for my friend to get his new PC so that we can start grinding out in Valheim again, well, I want to go over Crimson Desert, at least the trailer for this game, because it looks absurd. I have seen this trailer 6 or 7 times yesterday, just losing my mind. This game has immense potential. I'm going to be comparing it to a lot of other games in hopefully more substantive ways than just saying, oh, it's an amalgamation of like 5 or 6 different games. I want to actually like explain how and if certain things are a good thing, and yeah. This won't be really too much of a reaction. I mean, I'll be reacting audibly to certain things, but most of my initial reactions are gone. I mean, I've seen it with friends, seen it with different friends, even it with combo friends, time and time and time again yesterday. Let's get to it. Going to give you an analytical view. If this ends up being like an hour long, don't be surprised. Okay, hold on. Yep, I'm breaking this down bit by bit. Yeah, it's going to be like that. All right. Interesting thing. Actual in-game and gameplay footage. Work in progress. Fascinating. Fascinating. Already, they have that. We have an in-game time and an in-game temperature, which is super interesting. This makes me think that there's going to be a hot and cold system that might be related to equipment. Just like a really good way of making gear meaningful outside of just, oh, well, this one just got better numbers. You know what I'm saying? I love all sorts of gear with secondary, tertiary benefits that are just simple, but also very, very subtly meaningful. Now, of course, hot and cold, it's like, oh, well, this thing, it eliminates the cold entirely. It's like, okay, that's fine, that's fair. I would love it to also have other things. And we actually might have examples that I could potentially extrapolate or suggest to the devs here, Pearl, whatever. Same devs as Black Desert Online, although I'm not too much of an MMO guy. Still, there are examples that we can go off of. Already, we have sort of medieval fantasy. We've got this goblin guy. We're in the bind. We got sword play. Like it. I love it. I love how quick that bind happens, and then they get out of it. Enter a bind, overpowered. That's beautiful. That's really well done. We also have here another sort of close-up thing. These close-ups might not entirely be QTE, but there is going to be some QTE that we see later. QTE? Yeah, quick time event, yeah. Yeah, that one's a longer bind. I don't like that. Binds, I mean, I remember quick time event binds being kind of okay in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you fight, what's his name, the main villain from Mulan. You fight him, and it's like, well, you have a Keyblade with all sorts of nooks and crannies, things that like could be caught in it, but then again, it's like a round metallic pole for the most of it, so it makes sense there. And you're like a kid, like a just hit puberty. I know you're like the warrior of legend is Sora, but it's still like the main Mulan villain is giant and beefed up with darkness or whatever. And he's got this flowing sort of wiggly blade. It's just, it works. It works then, because there's a lot for the weapons to get caught on and not reliably slide around off of. For these just to be straight blade binds here, it's unlikely. I understand it's like, the epic moments, and look, we got a goblin back here. That's cool, but there is going to be a lot of fluidity to combat that we'll see later on, And I hope that this is at least somewhat represented in these bind situations, rather than just, oh, I'm gonna press my button so hard and so fast, and I'm gonna win. I want something else. I want something more interesting. Also, check this out. 24C with all of this armor on. Damn. Damn is all I'm saying. Arm wrestling, we got some bar mini games. Oh, I want to break this down. I'm gonna play this in half speed. I'm gonna go back a little bit. Check the mini map. You see how there's all these red dots of enemies on. I like that. We do a double push kick combo, and the kicks seem to be really good combo starters. This seems to be a get off me, but you should be able to follow this up depending on the enemy. I'm not 100%, but it seems like that's how it would work. So it launches them back, potentially physics with other enemies. Yes, love that. So it's control on one enemy that turns into CC, crowd control, for some other enemies. And then what happened there? Why? He's launched himself back with the momentum. That's actually... Oh no, he rolled back, and then he goes into a sweep kick. Kind of janky animation on that one guy. Let's see that again. Yeah, he stands up to get launched backwards. I feel like if he's already on the ground like that and he gets hit by a sweep kick, I don't think the animators should like default to the one animation where it's super combo friendly. I think maybe if the enemy's on the ground, he should be sent way back further, kind of like the first push kick, except not on the air, on the ground. And then maybe there's collision box where if you hit other enemies, they can be tripped or fall over. And that way that could be also really combo friendly. Notice how low player character gets here. This I'll be talking about later, but this sweep kick is phenomenal. I love it. I love how fast it comes out. You can basically cancel out of it like that. You just immediately go, oh, this push kick, oh my god. But yeah, the sweep kick is really huge, and we'll see it again here. This push kick, this is so good. So push him into the thing, he's knocked down. We immediately go into this sequence where an axe guy swings and misses because he's on the ground. While he's on the ground, without even getting up, so keeping your hitbox low, he goes into another sweep kick, like so. And now this guy who was getting up gets knocked down again, and this guy behind him also gets knocked down. It's just such a beautiful control option. It's so good. The sweep kick is incredible. And then he combos this up with this move, and it's just gonna, oh my god, beautiful. Not only has he just eviscerated this guy here, but he's taken out this platform here, and that lands and totally fucks up other dudes. Now, what I don't like about a lot of these very, very impactful sword slashes is the particles. These are particles for game fidelity bragging's sake rather than a decent art direction. I can't stand it. I fucking hate these particles. There's already amazing use of current engine version of Unreal Engine 5. There's already the incredible use of this, or whatever. I don't know. Are we on 6 now? I don't know. Maybe we're 5.5. Who knows? But the game already looks gorgeous. There's already so much interaction with objects, environment, all of that. This is particles for particles' sake. More nefariously, I think a lot of the particles actually show, or hide rather. Look, I love the explosion into 2,000 degrees Celsius with the explosion. That's genius. But back on track. The particles actually hide a really not well matching hitbox to animation. So the animation, and it's in your favor, so it's going to end up being a lot of fun to take advantage of, but that overhead slam with the sword has an AoE at the end of it. And we'll see that later in the trailer. We're 23 seconds in. But There's going to be a part in this trailer where it just knocks like a couple of guys way back. And again, not only is the sword, like the overhead swing, a really good just power move, it seems, for just dealing damage and getting combos off, but considering how you can interact with the environment with it and also knock dudes over, it could also be a starter. So you can use it as a starter, or you can, if you space it well, you can use it as a starter, or you can use it as a finisher, or if you position yourself right with the environment, you can do what he did back here, and let's watch this sequence with full time, and you can use it as a finisher and a starter with object interaction. Let's check this out. Full time. Love that. Sweep, slam, finish that guy, building stopped, or building fell, and then just absolutely you can combo off from there. He's got a bow on his back, so hopefully there'll be quick swapping out to your bow. Maybe you can take advantage of things like so. It's finishing and it's starting at the same time if you play well and skillfully. It's really well done. Let's keep going. Beautiful. Ooh, I want to showcase this. I should go in halftime. Look at this stance. Also, arrow on the ground, take. I didn't even notice that. That's great. Look at the stance. Look at the armor. Look at that. Sorry, I don't have like 4K or whatever, Look at that. Look at that. We are mid-motion, so it is what it is. I love this stance. Very historical. I love the shield up. The head is a little bit further forward than what I would expect, but at the same time, he has a really good helmet, and so I understand that. Also, it looks sick, so I get it. I get it, It's like, you want to look sick, you can make some concessions in order to have a compelling experience. Fair. Woo! Hold on, man. Hold on. So there's an uppercut, and I can't tell if there's a guy around or like what's going on there. This is why I don't like the particles. Let's fucking set that there. Because you can't tell what's going on. Like if they make it so that you can't tell what's going on in order to hide hitboxes, they're going to hide more stuff as well. The particles. And it kind of gives me a headache. Kind of does. Just in terms of application and game design, and also just my eyes in general. Gives me a headache. Because what are we... Was there a guy there? What are we doing? What was that? Were we just launching a box in the air in order to slam it down and ignite it? Was that it? I mean, I like that. I wish you could maybe... I don't know. If you could uppercut with the sword and then use a push kick, either 1 foot or the 2-footed push kick, to like send those boxes far. Maybe if you do an uppercut with the sword, push kick with 1 foot, swap to bow, and blow it up as it's firing at a group of enemies. That would be, oh my god. Think about that. That would be amazing interaction. And it would make the uppercut really good. What I want to see with the uppercut is, what can I launch in terms of enemies? I want to see that. How do I combo from there? Can I go uppercut, downward strike, follow up with a sweep kick, do some other stuff? This right here, let's watch this. Suplex! Oh, that's beautiful. So maybe the suplex is a sick finisher. Sweep kick, suplex. Maybe you grab, suplex. Let's take a look at the grab itself. So the grab, oh, look, that's beautiful. Love that. The grab is interesting because you're at standard height. I do want there to be a grab where you go low. And for the same reason why I really like the sweep kick, as it lowers your hitbox, and so enemies can swing over you and you can dodge and attack at the same time. if you have skillful timing and spacing. I want it to be the same way with grappling. Can I do a low grapple? And it's okay if I don't have it at the start and I have to spec into it or learn it from a trainer or somebody. But still, I want to be able to grapple low and then do a takedown and maybe even pull out a dagger from there on the ground and finish off the enemy. We'll see daggers later on, but not necessarily in combat. Yeah, standing takedown. Oof. Hold on, man. Hold on. So yeah, there's the instance. Let's go. Hold on. Let's go back to 0.5 speed. He blows himself up. Very cool. There's the grab. Suplex. I love it. There's the slam where you just absolutely launch two people. I would prefer if it was a dust cloud that represented the hitbox, and then the particles could be added later, coded well to the lighting of whatever dust cloud is in the environment. I don't care for just basic, oh, you're using cool shiny sword, you gotta have shiny particles. It doesn't fit the environment, kind of takes me out of the immersion, unless there's some sort of magic that's going on. That could be another good explanation. Is there magic? I'll take it. 50 degrees C, by the way. Check that. There must be some fire nearby. That's hot. Alright. So he slashes, I think, right? He thrusts. It's a thrust. You can barely tell with the particles. It's so bad. As long as I have a good graphics config and I can actually take the particles off without losing the fidelity of the general scope of things, I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy 16, then I can actually enjoy and let other people enjoy the particles, you know? If you like the particles, you can have the particles. Let's just have a really, really good graphics config settings, and then we're good. Push kick. Okay. This is sick. So we swap over. We do a cool guy, don't look at explosions moment. You have all of these explosive barrels. You know they're explosive because they're red. And oh, that's interesting. I don't... What happened there? Because I know he didn't fire... He must have fired in advance, and it was a delayed detonation. So he swaps from the bow, and then it explodes. Yes. Here's interesting. Here's something interesting. Yeah. Okay. We have a bow with the... I don't know. I don't know the term of this part of the bow. The knot string part of the bow on fire. And that's, of course, representative of a flaming attack coming. Oh, yes. We've got a bunch of dudes lined up, all convenient for us. And... Beautiful. Looks like we ignite something. Oh, God, all these particles, man. And the particles for the explosions I get and I love. And I love that they are colored and lighting appropriately to the explosion source. They're all red and all of that. Yeah, beautiful. A lot of them have... they can be pure white blinding light because it is an explosion after all. It's fine. Yeah, wow, what was the end of... Why were you covered with... There's so much... Oh, God. That last second. You just covered with particles. Why? I don't understand. Why are you covered with particles there? What is that? I can only assume this is tied to magic, and that fire thing was magic, and then you killed dudes, and for some reason you regain some sort of mana or something. And that's the particles. So the particles is magic. That would be forgivable. Still kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. And then the magic, as you kill some guys, maybe, comes back to you. And you get to regain a little bit as you kill enemies. And that's fair. And I also like the fire interacting with the environment. That's cool. Let's go back to 0.5 speed. Alright. Sniping dudes. They get off their horse, very cool. Explosive, again. Love that. Love that. Let's go to full speed. We've got some beautiful sweeping landscapes and environments. This is what makes Unreal Engine, the current version, truly special to me. Number one, the absolute absurd amount of polygons that you can fit into your games and into areas, like even instanced areas. Absurd. Absurd. Like, this open world looks amazing. People are gonna say, okay, it looks great just from this, and they're gonna get their neurons activated. To me, I see this and I say, looks fantastic, but the real awe comes from the specific locations visible and what's there. What's here? What's here? What are these ruins over there? What is this town? What is this tower over here? Can we go there? And if yes, are there anything good there? Again, I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy 16. Do we have anything good at these spots? We'll see. Beautiful areas. Love it. Love the little horsey looks. Almost not quite barding, but just the look of them look fantastic. Barding is horse armor, by the way. It doesn't have to do with musical instruments. I also love the player armor and the customization there. That looks nice. I can forgive the janky floating shields and such, as I still would really appreciate, and they do have it, just the ways of display. So I have my kit. It is displayed on my person. Everything is great. It looks fantastic. There's a knife here, a pouch. There's some, quiver, shield, arrow. Very nice. Very cool. I love that. Dark Souls and Elden Ring armor, and the kit is not displayed other than maybe some arrows if you have them in the quiver. If you have a shield or something on your back, like if it's in your offhand and your two-hand something else. But there are a lot of armors in that game that show various dirks and daggers all over your body, your torso, specifically. And you don't have them. You don't get to use them. They're not a part of the armor. It's all cosmetic and it looks ridiculous, plainly. It's like, no, you should start me off with a dagger, and that should be the dagger. That should be where it's kept, where it's held. We're already superhuman, otherworldly creatures doing all sorts of monstrously powerful things in those games. Let's have a little dagger on the armor that we can use, But no, we haven't got that in however many installments. It just looks ridiculous. It's minor, but it looks ridiculous. And in this game, it seems like everything here looks fantastic. Looks great. I would like, maybe if you have a horse, to also potentially have an addition for additional storage, like a larger pack or some such, or saddlebags, and have those be visible as additional inventory. That would be cool, and maybe the better horse you get, the more storage you can have, or the better barding you can have, or maybe there's a give and take there. I love these structures up here. Maybe I can visit this. There's like stuff up there, all sorts of things. Oh, there's so much going on. I love it. I love that there's near and foreground. There's some stuff going on in the midground. There's everything. Middle ground. There's so much to look at. Here we go. Example of real-time dynamic lighting. That's, again, it is literally unreal. And I think that's the real benefits, other than the immense polygons and just the performance in general. It's the dynamic lighting comes into place, more so than the particle effects. Wandering Mercenary. So there's guys to interact with. Cool armor here. This guy has an interesting sword. I wonder if there's potential stealth and stealing, like weapons, or if we're just going to be set to shields, which by the way look really cool, bows, a dagger, melee with kicks, and your long sword, or I assume what looks to be a bastard sword. I'm pretty sure I'm using that terminology right. A bastard sword. It's an arming sword is just a one-handed thing. A long sword is a dedicated two-handing sword, but a bastard sword is your more versatile option that you can go 1 to 2 very, very smoothly, which I think is what we're going to use. So having a great customization of bastard swords would be interesting. I hope they are just stat and cosmetic increases and actually have relevant aesthetic to mechanical differences that link up very well and that make choices very interesting from place to place, from encounter to encounter. I love customizing my setups like this, and this would make me be very satisfied in an RPG sense without actually having to play an RPG game. This could lean in extremely heavily into the action combo sequences with a lot of neuron activation without particularly having to dive too deep into crazy stat arrays. Also, I love this Dane axe in the back on this giant dude. Look at that. That's gorgeous. That's really cool. So yeah, I wonder if we'll be able to use things like Dane axes or such like that. I would love a disarming system with a beard of a giant Dane axe, even a hatchet type of weapon. Being able to use the beard to grapple or disarm shields or some such, or just work around and maybe break through, or like use a Zwei to break through a polearm line if you manage to get up close. Whoa. Whew. Whew. Let's keep going. Quests. Please, no microtransactions, please. For the love of God. I know it's Black Desert developers. Please, limited to none. Please. Oh my God. Another shield, red and white. Ooh, spotted. Crime system. Carriage jacking. Love it. Really cool. I love that. I love the lanterns on here. I hope that's sick. Valheim has got me really into the lighting systems. So, lanterns and all of that, I hope they're looking fantastic. I love that all there's storage here. I hope we actually get to use storage and loot storage. I think that would be really cool. Ah, look at that. Hold on. See how these NPC villagers, it's not just guards that have to see you, it is potentially anybody. And that makes me interested in what kind of stealth options are we going to have. Are we going to be able to absolutely sneak ourselves into hay bales like AC? Or are we going to just be able to crouch in tall grass over here and call it a day? Who knows? Hopefully the stealth is very, very intricate if we're going to have literally anybody be able to spot us and potentially report us to guards. It should be very interesting. I think the RP elements are there, and it's going to be a fascinating game should they deliver half or even all of this with good quality. It'd be a fantastic game. Let's keep going. Ah, look at that. The dagger. And check this lantern on the back. Love that. Here's the kit. It's kind of floaty. We have the bastard sword, a shield. This one has a spike. Ooh. There's things that could happen there. We have our sheath here. Love a good sheath. Looks like we're wearing a gambeson here with a cape. We've got some other standard classic cloth armor. Of course, this gambeson is most likely reinforced on the inside. Very curious. I love the idea of freeing somebody with the dagger or the dirk, but also potentially being able to use that in combat once grappled an enemy. Oh, that's everything. I want to be able to care about different types of armors, potentially lantern. I want to care about the knife, dirk, dagger. I want to care about shield types and weapon types. Oh man, I want to get deep into this game. Horse stable, very cool. Buying all sorts of ingredients. They are cooking ingredients. This one restores 10 stamina. Let's actually go back a little bit. Restores 5 stamina. If you feed, it restores 150 stamina. So you can actually feed these things to horses. And so there's going to be horse stamina, which is fascinating. That's cool. Stamina consumption minus 20% for 5 minutes plus amity. So that must be for befriending horses. Maybe you get more out of them the higher their amity is. Stamina consumption is great. I love that for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a fantastic time for traveling around, even in the big open world. It's a horse after all, and we'll see some nutty horse things in the future. Restore stamina, that's cool. Probably the sprint mechanic on the haunts, that's fine. And then if you just eat this, presumably you restore some stamina there, but it is a cooking ingredient, so all sorts of dishes are going to be made. It looks like we have recipes here. This is probably some sort of recipe system. I like that. And this is more of a fantasy race member here. Very cool. I like that. Very, very nice. 10 stamina. Some sort of hydration. I want to see that text real quick pop up. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's actually lower this. What are you doing here, actually? Drink. Okay, that's what I thought. It's just staying hydrated. Very cool. Because of the particle effects, I wasn't sure if you were getting some sort of mana back. You could still be getting mana if it's a blessed fountain or something like that. But staying hydrated, I also don't mind that. That's an interesting survival aspect. Should be simple enough. If you have plenty of water skins, that works fine. I remember doing such an outward, and it's fine. You just carry like 3 water skins. They have 4 charges each. Super easy. Very manageable. Depends on the thirst timer. How long does that set up? You know, how long until you get to drink again? But I assume it'll be just fine. Also, check this. That's cool. That's cool. Hope there's cool things there. Large guy with a spiked club. Fishing, first person. And it restores 150 HP. Here's something that I hope won't be controversial. I really don't want a pause option where you open your inventory and just munch on a million things like a Skyrim or a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, what have you. I don't want that in this game. I don't want it to interrupt the flow of action game at all. I don't want that. I just want it to be a meal that you have and you almost... with effects like this, I don't know how much total HP you'll have or how much percentage-wise this makes a difference. I don't want to do that during combat. I want there to be potions. I want there to be other quick things during combat. What I don't want is for you to eat whole meals or multiple whole meals in between sword strikes. Stop. That's ridiculous. And it devalues the weight of enemies entirely. It's, oh god, it's terrible. But yeah, this is cool. I like how it has size here, so you can really get into fishing. I hope the mechanics are good. I love that there's a grab and a release. That's cool. Fishing rod looks nice. Probably multiple options. But I especially like the dagger here. Let's go. Yes. I think this is cementing itself as a real deal option that we'll be able to use in combat. Whew. Excited for that. Also really like this armor. You've got like a cuirass here. Very cool. Very nice. Like that. Here's where we get more into the fantasy elements. Interesting thing. Correct use of the reverse grip here. But I love the combo starter with the push kick. You're using the push kick on this giant mud crab thing here. And instead of sending it flying, it topples it over. So you have a good angle at the weaker side of its carapace. At which point, you actually go into the reverse grip. And what's curious is, of course on a creature like this, you'd want to use your sword. But if you had some other more soft-bellied creature that would be smaller or humanoid, maybe going in with the dagger would be cool. So I wanted to see both of that. We don't get any more dagger combat things. Just dagger on the side, dagger used to free a guy. But I like this. I like this. Look at that. You can see the size of the handle is actually really good for a bastard sword. The length is decent too. This seems to be one of many options. I love the guard on that. Looks like it has a nice fuller on it. Like that. Now the tip on that is interesting. Let's actually go back. Zoom in. Come on. It seems to be a mix with this sword of thrusting and slashing. I wonder if we'll have specific swords that are more keen on thrusting or stabbing attacks rather than slashing, or more that have like just nutty distill tapers that are just set for slashing. I have no idea. I hope we'll be able to see. Hopefully we have these options. I'll be totally fine if we don't, but I would like the options. Harvesting mushrooms. Pet the dog with a dog hoodie on. Pick up cat. Pet the cat. Love that. Very nice. Looks like we're calling rats, which is interesting. This looks like it might be part of some quest, or we might be able to actually use this to our advantage. Maybe in leading plagued rats to a place. Who knows? Maybe we lead these plagued rats to an enemy barrack, and we let them loose. Cause chaos. Capitalize on said chaos. I think that would be super cool. Oh. Hold on. In the background. Horse baggage. Horse baggage. Yes. Horse storage. I'm all about it. Hopefully we get that for ourselves. Looks like they modeled that in just fine. Beautiful. Check this bow. Love that bow. Looks great. Looks like the same style of sword. The bow is different this time. Very sick. This armor is very interesting too. I forget what specifically this type of helmet is, but I actually like when he's going to rest that he has it up like that. That's nice. I know it's got to be hot as hell in there. Steamy too. So very, very cool. Like that. I'm digging the idle situation. Hot air balloon. This is, as soon as you see the hot air balloon, things start to get off the rails here. Hot air balloon, I love it. It's cool. Such a cool form of transportation. I think the coat of arms here is super interesting. Classic lion, right? Red lion. That's classic. But I think it might be interesting. We might have aerial battles or even aerial talks, depending on which coat of arms you bear on your hot air balloon. Imagine that. Imagine that. That would be cool. That would be a cool idea. Floating islands. Yeah, things really get off the rails here, but can be implemented in a cool way. We're in the more fantastical, more magical areas here. Now, I already know we had all sorts of fantasy races in this game. We were shown goblin-like creatures, the sort of elvish creature with the horns that was selling the, what was it, fruits and vegetables and such, maybe recipes. There was also these very, very large creatures that seem like humanoid giants, half-giants or what have you. And now we're just super getting into the fantastical elements here. It seems like, considering the fantasy races, that we will have this sort of fantasy or magic just exposed to us early on, so that it's not just an immense drastic shift and people don't get turned off by this immediately. Hopefully it's just clear and it's obvious that we're going to be diving deep into the magical, into the arcane early on, so that people aren't caught by surprise. Let's keep going. I love this. As soon as they go from magical to this, I'm digging it. I love that you still have to interact with the woods, actually getting through the underbrush. What's interesting is, hopefully, if we have a bunch of weapon variety, maybe we have weapons that allow us to get through this better. Like, say, a messer that might act like a machete type thing, so we can actually get through this undergrowth if we're sticking with swords. Or we could have what happens to be a really, really strong weapon that actually historically got enemies and logistics through the woods. That would be the bill hook, or specifically the English forest bill, so that we can actually chop our way through the woods, the thick brush in certain areas, and get ourselves into some nice fighting positions way faster than the enemies would. I think this would be really cool. I really would love to be able to use a polearm like that in games. Polearms really allow you so much more mechanical freedom if you're actually just messing around with them. If you've been like a dude as a kid, like I have, you ever messed around with a very large stick in the woods, okay? You've got a lot of mechanical freedom there and you know it. Now imagine not only just a spear. Spears are regular. Spears are boring. Spears have only been popular because of their logistics and their cost effectiveness to create. I was combining crafting and creating. Crafting, creating, what have you, and also training. Very, very simple. A lot more simpler than training and making a halberd or any sort of interesting polearm that has a spear plus some other function. Maybe some sort of Beck to Corbin, you know, who knows? Something else going on with a spike, a poleaxe, you know what I'm saying? Those are actually the real best medieval battlefield weapons because they have a spear, which everybody fawns over, and it's true, they were everywhere, but they have other mechanics that make them better, like a curved point that the bill hook has, that you can pull and push weapons from enemies or take shields away, and then stab with the spear pointed end. And you've got a large blade for cutting and chopping as well. And maybe you've got a spike at the end for piercing tough armor. Probably got a spike at the very bottom as well, so that you can use it in all sorts of different styles, as a lot of treatises would have shown. There's a large variety of uses. And people saying, spear, oh spear, oh spear. I hope games don't fall into that trap. Even a simple partisan with a wide tapered blade has more uses and is more mechanically interesting than just a regular spear or even a pike. Give me the variety, give me more. I mean, this is like saying 1 + 1 is better than just 1. It's simple. It's easy to understand, hopefully, and I would love the actual interaction with the environment and maybe also grappling. Oh man, just taking shields out of people's hands, comboing from there. Different stances maybe. I'm all about it. Let's keep going. Tree climbing, building climbing, we're AC now. That's fine with me, I like that. Haunts control, love that. We're Breath of the Wild now. Magnesis. I like that. That could be implemented well. We've got horse drifting. We're Nightfall now. Horse drifting into pole vaulting. What a sequence. I love that. Minus 3.5C. Damn. Let's take a look. Yeah. Pole vaulting into the enemy encampment. Check a look. Check a look. I'm combining check this out and take a look. Check a look at this. No, seriously though, that's phenomenal. And here, before he does something really funny, take a look. Let's take a look. Look at this beautiful river city, or river village, river town. It's a city. It's got reinforced walls, or like a little metropolis. Very cool. Love this. Really good geography with the water and the mountains. Fantastic. Docks here. Looks amazing. But look what he does. Bye, horse. And we are part bird now. And now we're climbing like Shadow of the Colossus or Dragon's Dogma. Take your pick. My pick is Shadow of the Colossus. Love that tree monster. We have Magnesis here. Although it looks more menacing and brutal. I love how it's there's particles once the impact happens and not as the situation is happening. I don't know what to call this. As you're just taking a large block and slamming it into a house, you know. I love it when the impact happens, not necessarily when you're charging it up or when it's firing per se. I like that. I like the effects when it's loading, how the streaks of light and dark. That's cool. I like that. Also, what? Release acquired, bring, finish. This is weird. This might need better translating. I don't know. This is kind of odd. Maybe it makes sense in terms of the setting. I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Wind. Skydiving with bombs in the air. This looks fantastic. Whatever this thing is, it's fantastic. Hold on. Hold on. What was that text? Hold on. I also love the interaction with fire and the wood gates. Basically destroying the wood gates here. Looks like there was a cannon here that fired off, and then you're able to continuously send off the explosion with your arrows or what have you. Maybe there's some magic involved. Let's set this to 0.5 speed. Cut it back just a little bit. Whoa, come on, man. What? You can't do that to me. Cardion two-handed sword. So we have two-handed swords specifically. So we have different types of swords. Not just all bastard swords. I like it. I like it. I love that you can take it and or equip it depending on your environment, depending on your situation. I dig it. Also, yeah, it was right. There was a cannon fire. And then we swap to bow and arrow. Just get ready for whatever is aggroing after you've fired a cannonball. And, oh, just send them back and blow them up. What was that? Hold on, there was another thing. No. Plate helmet. Cool. Love that. Oh, there it is. Sick. I love that there's a distance. It just makes things convenient. I know it's less realistic, but gameplay-wise, this is convenient, and I'm really digging it. I think the experience itself, at a certain point, should prioritize the fun of the experience. And I know that they can get a lot of in-world realism and just realism in general in the situations and in the settings and in the combat and all the mechanics. But at the same time, some sacrifices have to be made. And I want it to be a overall smooth and fun experience. So I like it. I like that there's sort of a distance of loot grabbing here. I like that. This is cool. He's grabbed the guy. Spin. Love the dust effects. Again, unreal. Beautiful. Slammed it. This is a little bit janky. The animations are a bit janky. But I love that it interacts with the shield. Sends him back. It's almost like a control aspect. That's cool. Hold on. The horse. Let's do normal playback speed. That almost looks too fast at normal speed. I'm so used to 0.5 speed at this point. Does he jump off or is he... Oh no, a guy gets flying. Or gets flying. A guy gets flung into the air, flying in the air from the horse charge. And that's cool. I think horse charge probably will only work to a certain point on certain light enemies, and then maybe heavier enemies you'd have to have good barding or a good trust in your horse. I assume only a horse will do this once it has a lot of amity towards you and it trusts you so that you don't like run it into the dangerous situation willy-nilly. I also like how it breaks shields back and just like brushes those shields aside. Boom. Up close environments here in combat. There's a QTE there. Understandable. Totally fantastical. Mechanical dragon. We know it's a dragon because it's got the arms and not just wings like a wyvern would. We have a clockwork dragon and some sort of automaton here. This looks like a large two-handed sword. Check that out. Beautiful pommel on that. Oh, we have another sword. Hold on. We have a sword in hand, and we can swap to this two-handed sword here. I forget what this is called. What this two-handed sword? It's not a zwei. It could just be some type of long sword based off of the length. Well, hold on. The length is short. It looks short for the handle size, and especially the guard size too. Let me know if there's some sort of historical precedent for that. But that's interesting. It's like a shorter version of proportion similar to like a nodachi almost. Super weird. But hey, they could make it work with their own setting, even if it's not historical. What's super interesting also is what he does to this automaton here. He does the overhead slam here, and you can actually see the weight of impact. You space and time that right, and the creature staggers down. Even if it's this big heavy thing, such a move with such an impact has weight to it. Ah, beautiful. Love it. Just feels good. Feels right. We have a boss. Boss marker. There it is, the Reed Devil. Looks like there will be some QTE instances. I hope it's not over the top. I hope it doesn't take you out of the boss kill. I don't want a lot of my epic bosses having total QTE moments. I'm fine with like some of them, but I do want them to be maybe midway points, phase changers, something like that. Maybe at the end of a boss, if I've defeated it via HP bar, then we can go into QTE. But I don't want it doing arbitrary large damage numbers that makes my whole fight seem silly and invalidated. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy 16. As cool as those icon fights are, the fact that you're doing a million bajillion numbers makes me just want to go into the icon transformation immediately and just mollywop the fuck out of every boss. But you can't really do that. As much as some subtle mechanics are good, like Deadly Embrace, that only works on enemies with stagger bars, and I don't want to rant too much about 16. I don't. But I like action games, and I hope this is better. I mean, if they deliver on even half of this stuff with the quality that it looks like, with good mechanics, minimal to none, preferably none, microtransactions, then it's going to be one of the best games of all time. Just based off of all the stuff that's in it. I don't think there's much disagreement to be had. It looks phenomenal. I love that you can just yoink a horse. Yoink a horse. You can yoink a horse there. That's great. Floating castles. We Tears of the Kingdom now, except this game has been in development for longer than Tears of the Kingdoms have been out. So, I don't know. Seems like some parts are coincidence. Some parts are definitely deep inspiration from other games, AC in particular, The Witcher in particular. Yeah, really cool. Love this loading sequence. This seems like particles and polygons done right to me. And boom, you load here. My question is, of course, how does fall damage work? How do you get out of these situations? We have hot air balloons. Do we have makeshift gliders? Do we have a parachute? We're not shown any such thing. I don't know. I will be watching and keeping a close eye on this game. Not the closest of eyes because, well, I went to their website about news for this game, and interspersed with a bunch of news articles for this game are a bajillion Black Desert Online stuff, which I'm not interested in, and I wish it was separate. I don't know if anybody has some links or something. I don't know. Just, I'll try and find it. I'll keep up to date with videos surrounding it. Official videos like this, and teasers, and maybe some displays, showcases, very specifically. Hopefully that'll happen in due time. But this game doesn't have a current release date, and that's fine. A game like a game like this needs time for polish. Because the scope of this game, in terms of mechanics, is absolutely immense. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I'm not a Warhammer guy, but hey, that last game looked amazing. Really excited for the eventual result of Crimson Desert. I'm optimistic about it because, well, even if it's going to be bad, I've got a million other games that are just sitting in my library that I got to play anyway. And, of course, many Valheim updates in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye!